All right. Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Lentor Modern Consumer Seminar, the title, The Start of a New Township. So I hope everybody has settled down and enjoyed the videos, and we will be starting our session promptly. So today we have with us a very special guest. We have Mr. Alvin Khoo, who is a Vice President in the Residential Projects Department. Alvin Khoo himself has been very involved in a lot of local launches, especially integrated developments, especially in projects that are undergoing transformation. He's been involved in projects such as Gaintree, which has been kickstarted in the beauty world transformation. He's been involved in dairy farm, also with the dairy farm transformation. So no better person here to have with us to explain to us some of the master plans of what's happening at Lentor. So without further ado, Mr. Alvin Khoo, I'll hand the mic over to you.
Thank you, Eddie. I hope everyone can hear me. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So thank you for your time on this very precious Thursday evening to spend about an hour with me for me to share some of my opinions on what's going to happen in the Lentor area. Okay. So Lentor Hills, the start of a new township. For me, when I want to predict on the changes and maybe the growth of an area or even a specific development in the area, there are a few things that I think I will want to check and understand. So today, what will be happening is I'll be walking through with you all my personal thoughts of this up and coming area by looking at things such as the current master plan, Singapore's urbanization trends, and whether there's been places that have similar changes before. Okay, and also what the future of the area will be like, and of course, most importantly, what is the current buyer sentiment, and to understand how the needs and the wants of home buyers, how they have evolved through time. Okay, so here will be the topics that I'll be sharing with you in the next hour or so. Okay, firstly, the URA master plan. This time around, I'll be focusing more on the northeast region. Okay, previously I've covered the west, the central, even the central area itself. Okay, after that, I'll be talking a bit on the upgraded connectivity. Okay, and Lentor Hills first GLS site. So this will be where it all begins. And of course, integrated development. What is the allure to home buyers and investors for this type of so-called limited edition development? As usually integrated development, if you know, based on data, it only stands roughly about 3% of the entire stocks in Singapore. Okay, and lastly, the potential of this first site, Lentor Hills, which is Lentor Modern. Okay, so without further ado, let me start the sharing proper. Okay, of course, right now, I believe over the past few years, especially during COVID, you will have heard a lot of these seminar on master plan and how it makes an impact. And so I will just be a bit more brief on this. But for me, the most important thing that master plan for me and you is that it has become very transparent and is an open platform for us to understand the planning intentions and the future plans of each area in Singapore. And like what we know, the whole Singapore is segregated into 5 different regions. As you can see over here, you have like the west region, the north, northeast, east, and central. So they will all have what we call the regional highlights. And for the regional highlights, this time around today, what I am talking about will definitely be on the northeast region. So this is where Lentor Hill is. Okay, when I take a look at the region highlights of northeast region based on master plan 2019, I realized there's 5 key focus for the northeast region. Okay, so form of the main key focus is these 4 will be the main key focus that I'll be sharing. Okay, this will be what I would say potentially will change the landscape or topography of the region. And if you ask me what's the 5th key focus, it's actually talking about community engagement projects at Lorong Chuan and Punggol area. So to me, the most important thing, right, when I want to see how viable a place is, be it for own stay or investment, is definitely how livable and how accessible the location is. So the 2 focus that I put in this with stars will be the area that I am most interested in. So when you go to Surf URA's website, you go and see the Northeast region highlight during your free time, you'll see that when you click onto the Northeast region, the first highlight, the first point in the region highlight you see is that URA stance is very clear and we want to create that they will want to create a new neighborhood near the Lentor MRT station. So as you can see, they mentioned over here, a new neighborhood conveniently located near the upcoming Lentor MRT station. So it will feature new parks, seamless pedestrian and cycling connectivities between the Teachers Estate and Lentor MRT station. So as we know, Teachers Estate is a more so-called a more private enclave area with more landers. So they will also have commercial amenities to serve the community, and that will be this mixed-use development with retail, which will be Lentor Modern. Okay, so from this actually give me a first hint that the potential of the area, how livable it will be, you know, with Lentor Modern being the key integrated development in the location, which later I will share a bit further with you all. Okay, and if you see when you move on to the next two key focus, if you read the URA's region highlight online, when we're talking about supporting our economy, you know, the strategy, URA actually have clearly indicated that those areas in baby blue color, they are actually the existing nodes for employment, and those dark blues will be the upcoming new employment nodes in the future. So for investors, you'll be looking at, you know, professional aspect, especially for those that is staying near to working at this area, which is Seletar Aerospace. You know, so those tenants that prefer a more clean, green, and more upscale residential area, somewhere that's much newer, you know, Lentor Hill Estate may potentially provide the answer to them in the future. Okay, and the other thing is that for if you see under the enhancing of our commutes, we actually see that the location is already equipped with the Thomson East Coast Line. You know, that is already up and operating, especially at the Lentor Lentor station. Okay, and homeowners or investors of the vicinity, they actually do not need to wait for many more years to come for the MRT to be ready. I'll give you a very good example. That will be the Cross Island Line. You know, a few years back when they announced this Cross Island Line, when that's where suddenly Affinity, you know, Gardens residents, those that is near to the Serangoon North MRT station, suddenly the unit sells like hotcake. But the thing is, the changes will only come 10 years down the road, when that's when it will be ready. But the good thing for Lentor, this area, is that once all the infrastructure is out, the buildings are up, the MRT is already up and running. There is no need to wait. So homeowners that is buying into this area will also have this very convenience, the immediate way of the convenience, you know, once they move into this area. Furthermore, you know, right now with the new cycling trend in Singapore, the area is providing more cycling networks, which I will actually share with you on the next slide. Okay, so as you can see, in 2019, they actually have an existing 4-kilometer loop around Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1, 3, and 8. So it will connect the residents from Ang Mo Kio MRT to Ang Mo Kio Swimming Complex and Ang Mo Kio Town Centre seamlessly. However, it have upgraded, and this year actually, some of these the neighborhood center and the major parks have already been linked up, or is in the midst of being linked up by all these cycling path and park connector. So this will be for more convenient, you know, inter-town travel. Okay, and in the future, for the longer term, what you will see is there will be denser network that will join all the neighborhoods and facilitate all this inter-town connectivity. So people that love cycling, this area will be very interesting. You know, it's a very lifestyle place that you can explore the entire neighborhood all the way to all the greens and park, as you can see all over here. Okay, and if you take a look at the Northeast region's illustrated plans on housing and transport, you know, you can see actually in short for the Lentor Head area, it is actually a place that is highlighted and is already involved in 2 to 3 of the region's key planning. Okay, and you see this again. For example, this is what we're talking about, Lentor Hills. Actually, you see, apart from Punggol Point, Blanco integrated development, this one is already, it have already started happening already. Okay, and this Blanco integrated development is actually talking about Sengkang Grand. So ladies and gentlemen, from what I know, last Friday when I first have this seminar with my Orange Tea agents, right? I realized that, you know, for these Sengkang Grand residents, there's a total of 680 units. They still left 1 or 2 units. But today when I check again, it is officially fully sold. And even for Lorong Chuan, you know, you should hear by now on the recent news, on the recent en bloc of Chuan Park also. So you realize that it is not only us, even developers, they are also taking note of all these different locations that is being highlighted by the URA, okay? And so this is where we are, what we're anticipating on the potential of a Lentor Hill area, okay? And if we talk about commerce and industry, okay, Lentor Modern, the Lentor Hills area is actually marked as a place that have this industrial business node, and Lentor Modern will be involved as the planned upcoming mixed development with the MRT station near, right underneath, okay? So, you know, just now when I talk about our rentability for investors, you do potentially see high profile tenants, especially for the huge area in the Seletar Aerospace, because this area you see the aviation giants and big MNCs such as Airbus, GE Aviation, Rolls-Royce, and Jet Aviation. So they do have a huge crowd of expats that is right now working in this area, and there will be even more improvement in the Seletar Aerospace area in years to come also. So actually you can see there is a lot of involvement and a lot of hint that actually this area is somewhere that will foresee a lot of changes. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, if you are not familiar with the area, this is the map of the Lentor area on street directory. So you can see this is the Thomson East Coast Line, Lentor MRT station. So this is the upcoming integrated development, Lentor Modern. So let me show you how it reflects against the URA master plan. Okay, so you can see I slowly change it into the URA master plan. Okay, in the next slide, what I'll be sharing with you is what are the zoning, you know, what is the exact location and what is the different color code. Okay, firstly, you will see this area, the Tango area. Okay, this is where the clean and light industry will be. Okay, it's actually ongoing there. So you see furniture, lighting shops, all those things that's there. You also see very nice food. Like I know there's a very nice mookata in the area. Okay, and apart from that, the green one, this is the park and nature reserve area. So there will be an upcoming linear park linking to the Hillock Park area. Okay, and then you can see over here, subject to detailed planning and this reserve and this red zone for H. Right now, these are actually all just forested areas. Okay, and at the southern part of the map, this area is actually the HDB area. Okay, and the majority that you see over here, these are actually the landed estates, and this color is actually the existing condos in the area. Okay, so if I highlighted all this, if you realize actually this whole Lentor Hill area is actually in the private enclave, and this area will be somewhere that I will say that will be the more atas area, you know, whereby you see more of the private residential people staying in. Okay, so if you take a look at this, actually this area they used to have GRS sites many years ago. In fact, how long ago? 1993. Okay, in 1993 to year 2001, there actually is 3 different sites that was released under the government land sales. So in 1993, there is Castle Green. Okay, 1 year later, there's Season Park. And then in 2001, there was the EC called Novo. But after that, there wasn't any other GRS site in the area until 20 years later, which is last year. So since last year, we have the first land that was being awarded to the developer in July 2021. That is our current Lentor Modern. And then in January 2022 to early this year, Lentor Hill Road. Okay, this is number 2. Okay, Lentor Hill Road, Parcel A, this was already awarded. Okay, and then number 3, 4, and 5, these 3 land parcels are already, 3 and 4 is open for tender, and Lentor Gardens, the parcel number 5, will be open for tender in October 2022. Okay, which is another 2 months down the road. And the other plot, number 6, Lentor Central, it is under the reserve lease. Okay, in October, they will release more detailed conditions of this plot. So actually, you know, you can see that apart from the 4 plots that are numbered, that I've shown you right now, there's actually another 4 more plots with plot ratio but not yet released. So it's these 4 plots. Okay, that's not yet released. Okay, and there is still 4 more plots. Okay, 4 more plots that do not have any plot ratio. And lastly, there is another subject to detailed planning plot. Okay, I love this type of plots with subject to detailed planning because it means that government do have potentially more plans to fully utilize the plot based on the surrounding characteristic. And to me, with all these various plot, right, it actually signifies that this will be a place with constant positive changes, which will potentially increase the value of the properties in the area due to the future improvement of future land prices. Yeah, so that is very important. And that's why you see in the current GIS site, that is released by URA this year, you can see there's a total of actually 4 sites. Okay, 1 and 2 is already awarded. Sorry, 1 and 2 is already awarded, instead of 3, 4, 5. So this is quite a lot of sites in a single area. In fact, this is a very rare occurrence where URA released multiple lands in a short span in a specific area. So this place will have changes, right, in the next few years, and it will be fast and furious changes. But after that, there will still be more changes coming around, because why? There are still 1, 2, 3, 4 more plots, and like I mentioned, another 4 plots that is without the plot ratio, and 1 more plot that's subject to detailed planning. So there will be consistently, from short term all the way to long term, many positive news that will come out of this area. And we know that actually right now, prices actually of properties have been going up. One of the reasons is also land costs have always been going up. Okay. The other thing that I want to highlight to you guys is about URA's urban design element. Okay, so this was something that I stumbled upon previously, and if you attended my previous seminar where I talked about the West region, I actually also share about this. Okay, so what is this urban design element? Okay, the master plan is actually supported by these special and detailed control plans. So the urban design are guidelines to preserve and enhance the urban character of these different planning areas. So they actually help to ensure that developments integrate well with their surrounding urban environment. So meaning to say, each area will have their own characteristic, and the design must fit that specific locations' characteristics. Okay, and like I mentioned over here, development within urban design areas subjected to more detailed urban design requirements. So this shall take precedence over the standard development control parameters. Okay, what do I mean by that? Later I will share a bit more with you if the time allows. Okay, but if you take a look at the entire Singapore map, the orange area is the urban design area. You can see actually most of this urban design area focus very much in the central core region. So this is the CCR area. Okay, followed by the central region. But it is very sparse few that is located elsewhere. So where are these places? Once you see already, you realize, these are area that's urban design. So places like Punggol, so it's going to be the new digital town, and then the waterway point, the area that has a lot of positive changes. In this area towards the east of the central region, you have the Paya Lebar quarters. So the Paya Lebar quarters, or PLQ, they are the first place to have the first grade A office outside of CBD. Okay, so that is also under the urban design area. The other area is actually Jurong Lake District. That's on the west region that you see is also zoned as the urban design area. And even Beauty World, this was during year 2020 when I talked about potential hotspot. Beauty World area, I had already identified as an urban hotspot, and you can see there was a lot of changes and the price actually spiked up quite a lot. Okay, and just last year in March, I talked about dairy farm this area. Initially, not many people realized, but right now the mixed development, the first mixed development and the only mixed development there, which is dairy farm residence, has also been fully sold. Okay, so later I'll also share a few case study example of some of these places. Okay, so you can see all these areas are actually urban design area. And in fact, if you take a look at URA master plan, you will realize that actually Lentor Hill is also such a rare urban design area that is outside of CCR. So this place is somewhere that actually the government have already take a lot of notice and will be having quite a lot of focus on. It's just that later I'll share also some of the reason why I think as compared to maybe like Tengah New Town, it is not so much in the radar. Okay. Okay. So in short, for the URA Master Plan 2019 for Lentor Hills, these are some of the important factors that either if you are my fellow colleague agents or you are prospective potential home buyer or investor that we will all want to know for Lentor Hill area. Firstly, Lentor Hill area is highlighted quite multiple times in the Northeast region highlight, okay? And the Lentor Hill area is in an urban design area where there will be special characteristic. In fact, what just now I was saying, what is so special about it? This color plot usually means residential with first level commercial. But if you go and see Lentor Modern's show flat during the preview, you realize that actually this plot isn't a single story, but 2-3 different stories for the retail and commercial components. Okay, so these are areas that, like what I said just now, because of its urban design area, it supersede the normal requirements or regulations due to its unique nature. Okay, and if you realize also for the entire area with the upcoming new plots, right, Lentor model have the highest plot ratio, 3.5 among the new plots. So potentially it may be the highest, slowly going down, because as we know, the plot ratio, the smaller it is, like for example, plot ratio 1.4, usually it means to be 5-story high. Okay, so on and so forth. And the other thing to take note, Lentor model is the only mixed development plot in the location. You can see all these are all pure residential plots. These are all pure residential plots. So this will be the only one with amenities directly integrated downstairs with the MRT exit actually just over here. So this is definitely going to be a very unique landmark. Lentor model will be the landmark integrated development in the vicinity. So the flagship of the area. Okay, but after talking so much about this, the thing that I realized is I went to see the price trend. I realized at this moment, right, this area to me is considered underperforming as compared to the national average. So you can see here, the orange one, this is actually the average price increment PSF overall of private residential in Singapore. So you're looking at about, from 2012 to 2022, about 40.89% increase overall Singapore. But for within 1 kilometer of Lentor MRT, the area, you see that the price increment right now is only about 22%. So with all these changes, right, how will the price trend move in the future in Lentor Hills? And do we still have the first mover advantage in such a so-called bullish market whereby everything is like so expensive, interest rate will go up? In fact, if you hear today's news, our COE hit record price again, 112,000, I think. That was what I heard. So there is actually, price have been going up. So a lot of people is worrying, do we still have the first mover advantage? Actually, with all these, like, you really need to dig deeper, not only on the URA master plan, but things like the connectivity of this area, what are the upcoming projects in the area to have a better sensing whether do we really have this first mover advantage. Okay, so with that, I want to go talk to about briefly on the second topic, which is the upgraded connectivity. Okay, a lot of people may not know. Right now, Townships East Coast Line have actually opened partially, and the second part will be opening soon. So right now, this whole area, actually, when I first saw this Thomson East Coast Line map from LTA, it's a very unique line because it leads all the way up to maybe Causeway, the area, Causeway Link, but it goes down to like Stevens Road area, Outram, to Marina Bay, to East Coast, to a lot of place of interest, a lot of favorite landmarks from north to east, without changing to another line. So that is how convenient it is. So even if I'm working right now in the Marina Bay Financial Center, it is also a direct line. So that is how convenient it is. And in fact, if you see the overall map of this area of the entire Singapore, you realize that for Lentor, right, that's where Lentor model will be directly integrated. 2 stops down, that will be Bright Hill MRT interchange that will be interconnected with the Cross Island line. Okay, 3 stations up, that is the Woodlands MRT interchange. Okay, 4 stations down, that is actually the Circle line and the Thomson East Coast lines interchange. And if you see on the left, if 5 stations away from Lentor, that is actually the interchange of towards the downtown line. So this is where all the good schools are, National JC, Hwa Chong, all those. And actually 6 stops away from Lentor, there is actually 2 different MRT interchange also. So this whole area is very, very well connected. You see, and 7 stops down, that is where the future that is the Newton MRT interchange. 9 stops down in the future, because Thomson East Coast Line, the rest of the line have not stated in the LTA map, but 9 stops down, that will be the Orchard MRT interchange also. Okay, that will be, you see, so in terms of connectivity, this Lentor area actually is connected to, in fact, almost all of the MRT lines within 10 stops away. That's how convenient it is. And it also mentioned in LTA, and it was reported in Straits Times on the reduce of commuting time from these various areas with the upcoming Cross Island MRT. So that is actually just 2 stations away. So even from Lentor, you want to go to Loyang, for example, it will cut your traveling time by 30 minutes. So that's the place will be getting more and more convenient. Okay, and of course, if you are driving, the other thing that to take note will be the upcoming North-South corridor. So as per quoted from LTA, the NSC will be Singapore's longest transit priority corridor. So they will feature bus lanes, cycling tram routes on the top and bottom also. And there will be also, it's an underground expressway also. And it will connect the northern region directly to the city center. Previously, we were saying to complete in 2027, but with the COVID situation, maybe it may delay 1 or 2 years. I wasn't able to find any more news on it at this moment. But previously, it was mentioning to be ready by 2027, which is just a mere 5 years away. Okay, and this is another two slides that I found from LTA also. So this upgrade, this area, this is actually where Lentor is. This is where Lentor Hill is. This is Yio Chu Kang MRT. So this side, there will be elevated path also on top. Okay, and below, there will be an entrance from Lentor, this area, going towards the North-South Expressway. Okay, so this place is going to be more and more convenient in the future. Okay, and of course, it will all begin with this very first GRS site that is going to launch very, very soon in Lentor Hill. So that will be Lentor Modern as per you see just now. Okay, so, this is from Straits Times. They mentioned this was in July 2021. The URA awards Lentor Central GRS Site to Guacoland as they are the top bidder. Okay, when I was looking at all these things, it reminded me of a few different places, which I would like to share with you. Okay, you see right now, you see number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. This was from Google Satellite Map. Okay, I was glad they didn't update fast enough, so I was able to see all these places when they are still in the forest state. Okay, so do you all know where these 4 places are? If anyone know, maybe you can just key into the chat, to make a guess. Anyone? Okay, if not, maybe let me share. Give me a minute. Okay, so the first area, this is actually Bidadari. This is actually Woodley MRT. Okay. Next, this area, this forested area, this is Dairy Farm. Okay. Over here, this is Tengah. And this is Lentor. Okay. So what do they have in common? Very simple. Very big empty land. Okay. So, right now over here, what I'm going to share with you is my own perspective of these urbanization trends in Singapore. In fact, if you know Bidadari, the integrated development there, Woodley residents, from what I know, I think it's almost fully sold already. Okay. And Dairy Farm residents, this is also a mixed development that was launched just about 2-3 years back in the Dairy Farm estate. This is the one and only mixed development also. It is also fully sold out. Upcoming Tengah area, from what I understand, apart from the BTOs, there will be upcoming EC. They will be launching, I think, in a month or 2 or so. But for Lentor, we will have Lentor Modern, the one and only integrated development that will be launching in the Lentor Hill estate. So you see, the 4 places actually have some common factors, and actually they are all also highlighted in the URA master plan. Okay, let me show you. In 2014 URA master plan, actually they have already mentioned about the Bidadari estate. So this was a place whereby it was up and coming. There was a lot of hype, and true enough, everything sells, and everything sell at record price, and the record price keep breaking more records. And for the area, if you realize in 2019 master plan, the growth story may have slowed down a bit, and in the next few years, right, I think it may slow a bit more, because the focus point for this area seems to be right now concentrated on the BTOs. Because when I was looking at the land plot in the master plan, there seems to be potentially no new GIS site in the near future. So unless the old developments get on block, the location may be saturated without new private developments in the near future. Okay, just let me show. I just want to share with you briefly what I mean by that. So you see, this is 2014 URA master plan, and this is 2019. You do see a lot of changes, a lot of things become concrete. Over here, all this is Woodley residences. Okay, so all these here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All these plots are actually for BTOs. In fact, over here also, let me just show you over here. This is the current street directory map. You can see over here, this is HDB, 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 HDB. So all this area are HDB. So this is what I'm saying, because this whole area is more concentrated towards the HDB here right now, right? I foresee that the price increment may slow down due to two reasons. Firstly, lack of supply, and second thing is because there's no more new land sales to push out the price further. Okay, unless you see these two plots that's highlighted in red. Okay, unless this one subject to detailed planning, and this reserve site, which currently is Woodley's Waterworks, the government announced new plans for this area, or government change this area into new GIS site. Otherwise, right now they will be saturated. So this is something that we really need to take note of. Okay, but of course, what it means is also limited stock means potentially higher price, just that it will be slower and the volume will drop. Okay, so take a look. This is the last 15 years price growth, right, of private properties within 1 kilometer of Woodley MRT. And you can see the one in blue, which is Woodley MRT. Throughout these 15 years, they have actually increased and outperformed the overall price growth average. So you can see the overall, meaning to say in entire Singapore, the average price in Singapore private property raised by about 50%. But for Bidadari area, it increased by 175%. Also, because of the growth story, a lot of things happen and the price jump up very fast. But if you take a look at the transaction volume, you realize firstly the price didn't spike out anymore, but the price growth in this area since 2018, right? The gap closed up a bit more. One of the main reasons is the depleting in stocks, because the last launch, what I remember, will be Woodley Residence. After that, there wasn't any more major launch in this area. So that is one thing to take note. Okay, so that's for Bidadari. And if we talk about the west side, just now I mentioned about, apart from Bidadari, I talk about Tengah and I talk about Dairy Farm. These two places are also areas that you see in the URA Master Plan, and this is URA Master Plan 2019 West Region. So this was what I shared last year, and I talked about the potential of the area, which is Dairy Farm. So what happened was that for this area in Dairy Farm, there have been previously there have been 4 GIS sites until Dairy Farm Residence came about. So this is Tree House, Forest, Eco Century, the Skywoods, and Dairy Farm Residence. This is the only mixed development. The rest are all pure residential. So after that, early this year, it was fully sold out. And then right now we have a new land parcel that is already being sold to a developer, and the land cost was actually higher. Okay, let me just show you. Okay, so apart from all these, right, in the future you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There will be potentially 6 more plots of land that's coming out on this area. But let's take a look at how, for those lands that's being sold, how had the land cost increased. So the first land was actually sold in year 2009. The land cost per square feet per plot ratio is just a mere $280. The next year, the next land for forest, the price of the land cost increased by 23%. Okay. Then from forest to eco-century, the land cost increased by 23% again. And from eco-century to skywoods, the land cost increased by 44%. Okay. So after that, there hasn't been any launch for 6 years. Then dairy farm residents, the only mixed development in the area, was released under GLS site, and the land cost increased by 34.74. Okay. After that, 4 years later, which is early this year in March, another plot, the plot that I highlight to you, was also sold at 980. So this is a normal pure residential. It's not a mixed development, so it's a pure residential. But the land cost increased 18%. So from 2009 to 2022, in this 13 year, right, the land cost actually increased 350%. If you count from tree house, how the price have grown. So you can see the land costs have almost always been increasing. Even after a mixed development is launched, the next land potentially after a few more years, the land cost will potentially increase due to the already established convenience of the area. Okay, and you can see for this time around for dairy farm, the price trend over the last 15 years, we can see that it also have increased 137%, but the increment shoots up more over the last few years, especially after 2018, when they announced about the dairy farm resident, the only mixed development in the area. So the price catch up, because before that, it was, you can see there's a gap, it was underperforming. Dairy farm area was underperforming until on the news of the land was sold and the mixed development come out to give the area more convenience and more amenities. We can see the price gap close up. Okay, so that is the thing about all this GLS site. And you can see, in fact, you see the volume went out also and the price start increasing. And this area will spike out again because of the new GLS site, and there will be more GLS site to come. But who will benefit the most? To me, the one that will benefit the most will definitely be dairy farm residents owner. Why? Because they have the one and only mixed development in that area. The only downside is about 10 to 12 minutes walk. It's about almost a kilometer away from the nearest MRT, which is Hillview MRT. But even without the MRT, without the pure connectivity, okay, just on the development itself, whereby the downstairs there's already have a supermarket, all this type of amenities, you see the demand went up, the price went up also. So if we having all this being said, right, I will say that for Lentor Hill area, being a place that is the MRT is just in Lentor Hill, the heart of it all, this area you will be seeing price going so-called out of the roof based on current market sentiment. But 2-3 years down the road, when you look back, you will say, oh, actually it's not so expensive. What do I mean by that? It's just like last year when COE was about 70,000-80,000, everyone say expensive. But right now, when COE is at 110K, ladies and gentlemen that bought a brand new car last year, you say, oh, my COE is so much cheaper. Same concept. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and you can see the price went, the volume went down and went up, and that's where you see the price spike again. So I foresee for Lentor Hill area, it will also be this way. Okay, and you can see actually for Lentor Hill, the area has been evolving quietly without much fanfare, especially the one I mentioned just now, if you compare it with Tengah New Town. So I tried to Google online. Okay, what's the main difference? When I search Tengah New Town, right, and I search Lentor New Town, Tengah, I see 7 million results. Okay, 7 million results. For Lentor, I see 115,000. Very, very big difference. And the other thing is, you realize all these are ads. So ads is meaning to say people pay to make sure that they are on top. Okay, but these are all organically featured. Okay, so when you search, that means people are researching. So you can see HDB, 10 new features of Tengah, all those things. But Lentor, you didn't realize that. So to me, it's a good thing. Okay, firstly, why is the result so much different? One of the main reasons, this is my own personal opinion, I personally feel is due to the fact that the Tengah area is designed, right, and conceived more as a new HDB estate. So HDB estate meaning there will be more BTOs and ECs. So this is a place for very affordable living. But Lentor, right, will be potentially a more private enclave. And improvement works for this type of enclaves will be more on a privately planned area. What do I mean by that? When a developer get the land, when all these various developers win the GIS site, they will be the one to contribute to the growth of Lentor. So, and they will be basing on the technical requirements and technical details that is stipulated in the government land sales criteria, and what is the vision that the government have for Lentor area. So that to me is the main difference, because for HDB type of things, it need to be more spread out, that there's more news. HDB have always been the so-called the government have always been the best advertisers, in that sense, because they are the one that detect the changes. And for the HDB dwellers, for the majority of 70% of people, this is the new town to go. But quietly, for those who can afford the top 20 over percent, these are the areas like Lentor, this area whereby it will be privately developed. Things will firstly happen much faster, because developer usually is more motivated to complete faster, and they will want to outshine each other with better concept. So for the integrated development right now that's going to be launched, I dare to say it will be having one of the most innovative concept that you can see for a new launch in the area for sure. Okay, and furthermore, if we talk about even longer term prospects, just like I showed you, all this area is currently forested. But if you see from master plan, right, from Lentor MRT station to Springleaf MRT station, this entire area, you see a lot, three big, one small plots of subject to detailed planning. So what it is hinting to me is this area will have consistent changes to come. So be it you are an investor looking at investment of 3 to 5 years, or someone that is buying for own stay to start a family and grow old with your loved one in this area will always excite everyone, because there is so much more things that's going to come out in this area, unlike maybe Bidadari at this moment of time. Because the thing is, the changes over here is immense. Like what I say, empty land, this is something that can draw a lot of things up on the government's imagination and what they want to perceive of this area. There will be a lot more positive changes. Okay, so with that said, I will say that we need to also understand the allure of these integrated developments. Do buyers really believe or willing to pay for all these type of integrated development? I believe time have changed, and buyer sentiments and needs also have changed. So good thing is HPOC actually did a survey this year in June, okay, and gotten about 1,000 over valid responses. So this consumer survey, right, is talking about the consumer sentiments on connectivity and convenience. So over here, what you see is the target age group. Majority 68% are looking at 41 to 65 years old, and the next majority part is between 26 to 40 years old. And primary residence wise, 45% is staying in HDB, or 38 is staying in condo or ECs, 16% is staying in landed. Also, this is roughly the respondents demographic. So I find this very interesting and will really want to share with you guys. Okay, when asked about their readiness to purchase, right, 360 over respondents indicated that they will be looking to purchase a residential property within the next 12 months, with 57.9 looking to buy for own stay, while 37.4 are actually buying for investment, meaning to say most probably they are willing to pay ABSD, because this is going to be the second property. Then the remaining, they are talking about buying for someone else. So most probably parents that is buying in trust or buying for their adult children, etc. But when they are asked, when this group of buyers are asked if they will consider an integrated development, a whooping 77.9, almost 80%, indicated they will consider buying an integrated development. So this means that sentiments on the ground is strong for such integrated development. And when they are asked, what is the most important feature they want in an integrated in an integrated development, this is the four main things that they want in the integrated development. Firstly, supermarket. Second, affordable food choices, walking distance to MRT, and ideally directly connected to MRT, meaning sheltered walkway. Okay, so and if you realize also, the other thing is there are more respondents who are willing to pay more when we talk about transportation, because the question here is they're talking about what is the percentage of respondents who is willing to pay more for integrated development based on the criteria. So to the buyer, to these respondents, what they're saying is the priority for them to pay more for. So this you're looking at become a lot more into the connectivity, walking distance to MRT, directly connect to MRT, and walking distance to transport hub. One of the main reasons why people is willing to pay more to be near all these type of transportation, public transport and stuff, I would say the main reason is because, like what I mentioned just now, the ever increasing price of our COE. So right now, 100 over K more for a COE, for COE right now. If I do not need the car, I can spend this money into my property purchase, as long as it's somewhere that's convenient. Immediately I walk down, I go to work. If I work at Marina Bay, I walk down from Lentor MRT to Marina Bay. I do not even need to bring an umbrella. This is the type of convenience that a lot of these respondents are looking for. Okay, and ask if they are willing to pay a premium of more than 10%. I realize that there are mostly are the owner occupiers who are willing to pay for the proximity to MRT as compared to investors, because of course owner occupiers, they will be more directly benefiting from the easy access of the connectivity. Okay, and over here I also realized, in chart 7, this is chart 7. I realized that really the word time is money, the phrase time is money, it couldn't sound more real as after I see all this. Because the thing is, the more time you save, right, the more willing the respondents are willing to pay for the shorter commute time. So they are using money to buy time. And for number 8, you see, importantly is that when they are asked for connectivity and convenience versus a central location that is not so convenient, 4 out of 5 being surveyed prefer convenience and connectivity over a so-called central location. What do I mean by that? What it means is to say that if right now I walk down from my house, I can immediately go to a MRT, I can immediately go to shop, I can immediately get my amenities and stuff. Even if it is in Woodlands, even if it is in Jurong West, even if it is in Pasir Ris, I don't mind paying a premium. I don't mind say that, rather than a location whereby it feels central, but if I do not drive, I will have issue because I need to take Grab. I think one of the area that I can think of potentially is Balestier area, whereby if you don't drive, you'll find that the area like not so convenient. If I want to walk to MRT, where's my nearest MRT? It's either Toa Payoh or Novena. Otherwise, I have to take the bus. But if you drive, you'll find that it's centrally located. So this is what they mean by a high connectivity and high convenience area versus a central location. So people is willing to pay or willing to buy an area that have more connectivity and convenience. So you can see the buyer sentiment actually have changed over the years. And actually, if I state down all the integrated development that I know in Singapore right now, including these excluding this Lentor modern, there should be roughly about 22. Okay, you can see those in yellow are those in OCR. Okay, those in yellow are those in OCR. The rest are either in the city fringe or in the core city area. Okay, and previously it was when I first did the seminar, I think there was only left last unit. Okay, and Pasir Ris 8 left 8.6%. Right now, Sengkang Grand also is fully sold. So this is how fast and how high demand all this area is. In fact, if you're looking for a brand new integrated development in the OCR, right now, if today you want to buy, the only place that you can go to see is actually Pasir Ris 8, and only left 8.6%. So it may not have the ideal facing or it may be the higher price already, so on and so forth. And to some, maybe 8, and don't really want to, there isn't much choices right now. Okay. But for those launching this year, okay, over here I compound those that are integrated or mixed development that is launching this year or most probably early next year. You will see this May, actually Piccadilly Grand just launched. The commercial space you're looking at about 21,000 square feet. From what I know, September there will be another launch called Sky Eden at Bedok. There's only 158 units, and it's about 280 meter of uncovered walkway. So it's not fully sheltered, it's not integrated, okay, but it's a mixed development. So it's about maybe about 5-6 minutes walk to Bedok MRT station. So they have roughly about 11,200 commercial spaces. September, there's another launch which is Lentor model itself. You are looking at 605 units. It's an integrated development with Lentor MRT directly downstairs. So from the top floor, you take lift down, I think it takes less than 1 minute. Okay. And they have about 96,000 square feet of commercial space, including 10,000 square feet of childcare. Okay. Then next year, most probably there'll be a few more. So apart from Jalan Anak Bukit, which is 200 over 1,000, the rest they are actually all smaller in terms of commercial spaces. But take a look in OCR, this is the only two that will be launching. Okay. So these are integrated development that you will realize integrated developments, they are very low in stocks right now in Singapore. So this is what I will potentially call limited edition. Okay. And actually all along, take-up rate for integrated development has been high. From Sengkang Grand, you know, the first weekend 200 over units sold, to Link at Beauty World, it's a mixed development, 96% sold on the first day of launch. Pasir Ris 8, 85% sold on the first launch weekend. Midtown Modern, 60 over percent sold. You know, Piccadilly Grand, 77% sold. You realize the high take-up rate of mixed development is really something that is undeniable. And furthermore, if we talk about Lentor Hill per se, nearby Amor residents within the first day of launch, 90 over percent sold. 90 over percent. Now we've only left plus 6 units. So this area is a mature area, but yet for Lentor Hill is a up and coming area in a private enclave. So I will say that the demand for here will not be surprising if you hear within the first weekend 90 over percent sold or even fully sold out. You know, so that things like that may happen. Why do I say that? One of the main reasons is because when I talk about integrated development, even right now, because I understand Amor is sold at about 2000, 2001. If I talk about integrated development selling 2,300 PSS for this Lentor model, I believe units will still move fast and off the shelf. Why? The developer behind the development itself is very important. You know, a project needs to be well planned, you know, able to sustain for the long run with this extremely prominent concept. And of course, the feel-good factor and the iconic landmark status in the area. So if you can have the above what I mentioned, right, you definitely see that the development appreciate even faster. So for Lentor Hill, the first development launch, which is Lentor Modern, this is actually the third of their Guaco Lands, so-called the modern series. I believe that the units will be nice and definitely the capital upside, or even if you buy for own stake, it will be definitely a place that you should seriously consider. Okay, why? Firstly, the developer Guaco Land itself they have a very long track record. You know, they are an award-winning developer. They have developed more than 30 over developments in Singapore, and they are also the leading developer in terms of mixed-use development. Why do I say that? They are actually the creator of Wallet Residence, which is Guaco Tower, and Midtown Modern, which is we call Guaco Midtown. Guaco Tower, like we all know right now, is the Singapore tallest integrated development. So I just show you their price trend. This is located in District 2. Okay, it was launched in December 2013 from what I understand. So you can see throughout this period of time, District 2 price for Wallet residents, it have increased about 17 over percent. However, during the same period of time, the entire District 2 minus away Wallet residents, the entire District 2, the overall price have dropped surprisingly by 0.05% year on year. So based on year, right, I realized that, wow, even though market you say right now is bullish, the surrounding projects don't seem to be performing, and you can see the gap is very big. But the price of Warwick residence still goes up. And also the concept and the idea that is created by the developer is very important for the potential capital appreciation of your property. Okay, and just now I was talking about the modern series. You will see that this is what I call they are actually the mastermind of this modern series, and the first of it was Martin Modern. So that was launched in 2017 and officially sold out 4 years later. So this was the project that gave me a very strong impression of Guaco Land. Why? Because it actually created, for me personally, a major impact and broke the ideology, right? That a 99-year leasehold development couldn't outperform freehold. Because for Martin Modern, later I'll show you some of the statistics. It's a 99-year in an entire freehold area. Okay, and of course in 2021, which is just last year, Guaco Land also successfully launched their Midtown Modern, which was sold more than 60% during its first launch weekend and broke the record price per square feet in D7. So now what we are looking at is their Lentor Modern, and that's why I feel that for this area, for this development, if you're looking at Lentor Hills for the capital upside, definitely Lentor Modern will be portraying a very strong position in terms of the future capital appreciation. Okay, let me just share with you a bit about Martin Modern. So this is Martin Modern, and the concept behind, you can see very large, very green. They have a very nice signature lawn. So when I was still an agent, I have been marketing a lot. I have a lot of landlords and owners in the Robertson Quay area, which is where Martin Modern is located in. So Martin Modern is just one out of 4 condos that is 99 years in the entire Robertson Quay area. So the rest of the 37, they are all freehold. Okay, so directly behind, I have a lot of landlords in Martin Place residence. So at the point of time, Martin Place residence was selling at 1,900 plus PSF, while Martin Modern was selling at 2,100, 2,200 starting price. I was thinking, how will it win? But when I went to see the project itself, the feel good factor was one of the reasons why a lot of homeowners buy, because of the concierge service, because of the when I want to bring my whole family to stay, the feel good factor is just there. Somehow the way that they design it makes people feel that, hey, wow, this is a project that I should stay in, and they're willing to pay a higher premium, even though it was a 99-year, among all the freehold. And you can see during the same period of time, okay, if we compare quarterly from the day that it was launched in 2017 until today, the price increased by over 20%. But at the same time, for the entire Robertson Quay area, minus away Martin Modern, the whole area price actually went up by roughly about 3.57% only. So Martin Place, the price actually hold better and actually perform better and have higher PSF as compared to the rest of the area, even though the rest are freehold. Okay, so that is how wow factor it is for Martin Modern itself. And for Midtown Modern also, during launch, it was one of the highest price development in the area based on how I see over here for the overall transaction of D7. Why? Because D7, they have a lot more orders, more development. There's just about 1,600 plus PSF still last year. So the price premium was about 35% for the launch of Martin Modern. And right now, the price have increased by 6%. Okay, while at the same time, this whole overall area only increased by 3+%. So you can see that with a correct concept, okay, and with the correct developer, the price gap actually increased even more. And Martin Modern, although it was the highest, one of the highest price in the area based on PSF, the price still went out further, and the overall D7 price couldn't catch up at the same period of time. So this is something that shows me, right, that the developer is important, because they will be the one that will providing the concept, and the more detailed they are, the more well played it is, the better chance of capital appreciation, as shown in the previous 2 modern series. And of course, with that, we are looking at the Lentor Modern, which is the 3rd of the modern series, which is also an integrated development with Lentor MRT. This is some of the artist's impression. I think you'll be looking at it firsthand. I'm not even sure if I'm able to share it actually. Okay. So in summary, right, and I talk about Lentor Modern as the first development in the area, if you talk about investment point of view, I can summarize it in this way. This project is located in a new township, okay, and this is an upcoming private residential enclave, and being the first launch in Lentor Hill Estate, and the only integrated development, it definitely gives you the first mover advantage, especially when it's developed by Land, who have planned things very well, and the direct link to Lentor MRT station definitely helps to make it the landmark of Lentor Hill Estate. Okay, and like I mentioned, first mover advantage. This definitely will be a project that is, I would say, a first mover advantage, being firstly the first to be launched in the area. Secondly, the only mixed development. Okay, so the future price of the rest will, when they increase, like what you see in the Ray Farm area, you will still see potentially Lentor Modern still will have the landmark status, being the only integrated in that area. Okay, and best part is this area is always will have constant involvement with respect to the URA master plan, like what I've shared just now, and also will be served by the upcoming North-South corridor. And most importantly, limited edition is, we already see, just like I already show you, there's very low supply of integrated development in the OCR, and definitely this is a launch not to be missed. Okay, so like I mentioned, a launch not to be missed. We will be having the preview from the 2nd of September to the 12th of September, and the booking day will be on the 16th of September. However, prior to that, if you still have doubt, especially right now with the rising interest rate and stuff, don't worry. My head of department, my boss, will be sharing on the rising interest rates. Let's just take a look at this video.
Rising interest rates is hitting property markets worldwide, but Singapore property market is expected to stay resilient. Why is our property market defying the odds? Should you invest or hold back due to the rising interest rates? Let me share with you 5 reasons why Singapore property market is resilient.
Okay, so on 31st of August, just 2 days before the preview, if you are still curious or wondering should you go for the preview, I strongly encourage you, because I've heard it firsthand with Raymond, my head of residential project department, on his slide on this impact of interest rate hikes, and it is definitely something very beneficial. So mark the date, 31st August at 8 p.m. Raymond will be sharing the impact of interest rate hikes. Okay, and with that, thank you so much for every one of you for the past 1 hour 5 minutes hearing my sharing. Okay, and with that, I've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you. Eddie, I pass back to you.
Hello? Alvin?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so thank you, Alvin, for your kind sharing again. So, friends and attendees, if you have any questions with regards to what Alvin has shared, please do share your questions in the Q&A chat. We will be answering questions maybe for the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And of course, if you want a copy of the slides, do check back with the Orange Tea agent that has invited you for this seminar, and then we will disseminate through them lah. Okay, so yes, so thank you, Alvin. Maybe while we wait for questions to come, actually I had a question about the interest rates, but I think I shall just wait for Raymond's session at the end of the month. Maybe you can share with me, because since you've seen Lentor Modern, the show flat already, what do you think, what's the most impressive thing about Lentor Modern that you have seen so far? You're muted, sorry, Alvin.
Okay, if I say it to a lot of people, okay, firstly, in terms of layout, sizes is really very good size. So they ranges from 1 bedroom all the way to 4 bedroom. The unique thing that made me want to know more and was very confident about, and is very confident about this project, is that their units, right, all come with a flexi. So what is a flexi? So that's the thing. If you are a consumer that is right now being invited by one of the Orange Tea agent for this seminar, go and ask them what is this flexi. it is something that is, I've only seen it at Lentor Modern, whereby all the units you'll be looking at flexi. And the other thing, in terms of facilities, Wakoland actually, to me, they actually have put in a lot of effort and detail to design this full facilities integrated development. So you have things like, just now, if you're early, you should have heard my CEO talk about the glamping sites. You know, they have actually a business concierge area. The development will have concierge, and you have a 12,000 square feet supermarket and a 10,000 square feet childcare, apart from the rest of the retails and F&B that will be situated in the area. Best part, even if I am working in Marina Bay Financial Center, or you want to go for a staycation at Marina Bay Sands, okay, I bring luggage, go down within 38 seconds, I think, if I stay on the 25th floor, 38 seconds I go down, I will reach Lentor MRT station. I do not need to take umbrella or worry about rain, because it was Thomson East Coast Line will directly link all the way to the Marina Bay Financial Center and to even Marina Bay Sands, the area in the future. So this is a place that I realized a lot of convenience. Plus, if we talk about biophilic, on the west and the east, they have two huge nature reserve area. So you are looking at a place that is still biophilic at the same time. So this is something, if I sell too much, I think I oversold already. So I think it's something that you should come down, register, because we have limited slots due to the overwhelming response. From 2nd Sep to 12th Sep, book your slots for the viewing. Yeah, Eddie.
Okay, great. Actually, we have one question that came in through the chat room. Not sure whether what is your anticipated selling price per square feet for Lentor Modern? Maybe just take with reference to what Amo has sold. Amo, the recently sold out project.
Yeah.
Amokyo.
Amo, I think was selling on average 2001. Then the penthouse was sold at about 2004, 2005 PSF at 2,400 plus, right? Yeah. So for a condo next door in Amokyo that have good unblocked view, so do Lentor Modern, because Lentor Modern, if you realize, just I mentioned there's a lot of landed enclave, meaning to say you have guaranteed unblocked view. Okay. But for them, it's just another condo next door. They sold, I think, average 2001. If you tell me that I'm going to sell at 2003, 2,400 PSF, I may not be surprised. But if it sell lower, definitely it will be even better. So I can't give you the exact gauge, but with Amor at the ballpark about 2,100 plus PSF. Right now, you're talking about integrated development with a huge supermarket in a new town. They will be having a lot more GIS coming out in the future. That's planned by Guacoland. I think no matter what it is, the price, like what I mentioned just now for both Martin Modern and this Midtown Modern, even though there's a price premium, the price will still continue to go up. So if you are in the market, you are really looking for something unique, I think this is really one project that you should strongly consider.
Okay. Yep. I also heard about this the other day when I was speaking to some of these agents. They were saying that the surrounding projects around there are all usually bigger size. So even though they have a lower PSF, the quantum wise is going to be quite high. Is this true also for Lentor Modern? Even though your PSF could be high, the quantum range, do you think it's still going to be affordable for buyers?
Okay. This one very important one. Nothing is rehearsed. So you're saying that if it is on a higher price, for the bigger unit, will it still be higher price based on PSF?
I mean quantum wise, because even though we are talking about PSF right now, when we put into quantum, I think the bank will still be able to support your valuation.
Yes, definitely,
prices, right?
Definitely. I think definitely. And right now I do not have the pricing, but in terms of affordability, with Guacoland being such an experienced developer, who is so well in the market, plus the last few launches they have been doing so well, I think they will be able to price it in a very palatable type of price range for all consumers based on whatever needs they want. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. One last question that came in the Q&A chat. I think they were saying that there is a limited number of stock of new launches in the market. Will that affect prices for Lentor Modern?
this one I will really have to ask the developer. Of course, in terms of from how I see from the previous launch, they wasn't those that how do I say that? The price is was still very palatable throughout the entire day. Throughout the entire day, the price on the first day of launch was very palatable. So as long as you take part in the launch, I believe based on Guacoland's reputation, you should be able to get your unit, as long as the unit is still there, at a very, very reasonable price for such a development. Yeah.
So going during the launch day lah.
Yes, do go booking, preview day. That's where we collect the express of interest. Then you put in all your check, everything. Then on the booking day itself is where after balloting, you'll be booking based on your queue number. Yeah. Correct.
There's a question about the ABSD. Now in view of 70% ABSD, what is the potential of capital appreciation? What's your views on this?
Okay, let me ask you this thing. For this question, whoever is asking this question, as you mentioned, ABSD, that means you already own one property. So be it you buying a new launch or a resale, as long as you're buying a private residential, you definitely need to pay ABSD, right or not, Eddie? So if you're going to pay ABSD and it's a 17%, what do you think you want to do? You definitely want to place the bet on the most confident. You must in the one that you think will increase the most, right or not? So give you a concept. Firstly, when you talk about new launch versus resale, why so many people go and buy new launches? Especially, to me, the concept is same as BTO. BTO, people always guarantee will earn money. The concept is the same because why everyone buy at the same price.
Right.
So, like for example, I think that I was in the market looking for a property just this year. I saw a 4-bedroom late last year at this Castle Green. So it was built it was GLS in 1993. So it's about almost 30 years already. The 4-bedroom there was selling at just a mere 1.4 plus million. This year it was at 1.5. March of this year, April this year became 1.6 plus. And now it's at 1.7, 1.8. But when I look back at the caveat, previous buyer only buy at 500,000. So if let's say the entire market crash, most of the people that bought that project on average is about $600-700 per square feet. But you're looking at you bought at 1,600, it's more than double. So your risk level definitely is higher. But for new launches, the thing is everyone is buying at so-called the same range of price. So that's one of the reasons why you see a lot of people is willing to buy for new launches, especially for investment, because they foresee nobody want to lose money. So when we are all buying at about the same price, the only way that it will go is up. But for resale, because I just bought at 1.6, but the first owner maybe buy at 500,000. When he sell at 700,000-800,000, he's still making profit while you're losing almost half of what you're paying. So that is one of the concepts also. So like that is one thing. Plus, what I shared just now on this area, this project roughly on the location and integrated amenities and all those things. If I want to place a bet, I'm going to buy a second property and pay 17% ABSD. I think this is one very good choice that I can consider because there's so many more lands that's going to come out in the future.
Plus integrated, right?
Precisely. Like what the consumer sentiments survey have already shown. That one wasn't done by me. That was done by HPOP. It's not an agency. It's just a real estate portal. So you see, it's a more non-biased type of survey. So I like this type of survey because it really shows what's the sentiments in the market and how is the market potentially heading in the next few years also.
Great.
Yep.
Okay. I believe that's the end of all our questions. Of course, if you have any more other questions that you would like to ask Alvin, do just get in touch with your preferred Orange Tea agent who invited you. Then, we can pass the message across, or, if not during the preview, you drop by, you catch Alvin and ask him yourself because he will be there at the preview. So yes, do remember to mark these dates down. And then, of course, the 31st August, there will be a interesting topic by our head of residential project department, Mr. Raymond Khoo. Some of these topics, I also have heard it in some of his talks. It is an interesting angle. It's a bit different from what you usually hear. So I highly encourage people to register for this as well. So without further ado, maybe Alvin, any last words to share with our friends before we end off the session? You are muted, sorry.
Okay, I'll say if you're really in the market looking for a property, this is definitely one of the most blockbuster launch this year that you need to view. Okay. Whatever I say is not important. Important is you go down to the show flat yourself, take a look by yourself, and be wowed by the design and the facilities that they'll be providing. Okay. And if you are my fellow Orange Tea colleagues, I think this is one project, if you don't tell your clients, you'll be doing them injustice, because this is really one of the landmark blockbuster that you can see based on the whole ideology and concept behind this project, plus the upside of this entire area due to master plan also. So with that, I will want to thank everyone again for your timing tonight, the past 1 hour hearing me and my sharing.
All right, great. Thank you, Alvin, once again. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time out. So please do stay safe. And I hope to see you at our preview on the 2nd of September onwards. So take care and have a great rest of the week. Good night.
I want you, baby, my sugar boo. I'm levitating, the Milky Way. We're renegade.